Hello. You're tuning into the episode of The Wunderkind Show. Today's first topic, the Browns beat the Steelers. Look, I want to say this, right? Because this is starting to seem almost anticlimactic for me, right? And it's not about the Steelers. I'm not worried about the Steelers at all. Like at all. When we lost, when the Ravens lost to the Steelers, that was one of the most abomination of performances from a team that I've ever witnessed. I'm talking about dropping touchdowns, dropping wide open passes that could have amounted to touchdowns. Like there were some ones that weren't even close to touchdowns, but there was so much room to run. 10-yard difference between you and a corner or you and a safety, that you have a chance to go take it to the house. So I'm not worried about them. Not at all. But I am starting to watch, notice, look at the Cleveland Browns. Look, I had already said at the beginning of the season that the Cleveland Browns would be the second best team in the AFC North. I said that I picked them to win. I said 11 or 12 games. If I'm not mistaken, you guys can go fact check me from my previous videos. And I said that I felt with that defense and Deshaun Watson getting better as the season progressed, that they were going to be a tough out for anybody. And Deshaun Watson isn't even available anymore. And they're still looking like a tough out for everybody in the AFC North. Let me say this very much, very well, and make myself very clear. I'm not scared of any team. I am not. But we might end up seeing Cleveland in the playoffs. And I know some people are going to be like, there's no way. Let me tell you something right now. If we win the number 1 seed, we get the bye. That is all we get. Okay? If we get the bye, that means we won the AFC North. That means wherever Cleveland is going, it's a wild card. You get where I'm coming from? So they're not going to be leading the division. So you have to understand that if they make the playoffs and even, let's say, drop a couple because of their quarterback play, but they still make the playoffs, that means they're the lowest seed. I think that they could knock off one of the conference leaders or division leaders, division leaders, and if they're the lowest seed, they would then have to take on, guess who? The team with the bye. Us. And I think if that happens, I think it's going to be absolute bloodshed. This defense is no joke, but I think that we will make adjustments that we will not collapse like we did the last game. Because the last game, we were boat racing them. We really were. We were boat racing them. And after the defense scored, we scored again. It was like, oh yeah, it's going to be one of those games. And then we just collapsed. The offense couldn't score no more. The offensive line just couldn't hold up. They just couldn't hold up in pass pro or run pro. So, you know what I'm saying? That was the biggest turning point, the trenches for the last game. The trenches and the defense just giving up chunk plays. 20 yards, 15 yards, 20 yards, 11 yards, 12 yards. I was like, my gosh. Go and look at the game script. If you look, it's all chunk plays in the whole second half of the game. Penalty, 12 yards, 15 yards, 10 yards, 25 yards, penalty. Oh, they're at the goal line. You know what I'm saying? So I was thinking about this, and here's the thing. I know a lot of people is like, Nitro, why are you putting stuff in the air? Oh. I'm not putting anything in the air. I'm looking at this realistically. The Ravens should be watching them because, question, real talk, do you guys think the Browns could beat the Jaguars? If they make it high enough and have to face the median team, right? Do you think they're good enough to face? They're not beating the Kansas City Chiefs. Miami? Because here's the thing, Miami's offense has been great, but it's been on the downturn these couple weeks. And their defense is playing a lot better since Jalen Ramsey's came back. But once again, their offense has been interceptions, fumbles, lack of yards. And that's where Cleveland shines. Would you put all your money for the Miami Dolphins to be able to beat the Cleveland Browns right now? I bet you're not going to do it. Would you put all your money that they could, that the Jaguars can beat them? I bet you won't do it. The only team right now that you would be like, nah, they're not beating them, is the Kansas City Chiefs. Because the Kansas City Chiefs, no matter how good a defense is, you have to have at least a decent offense to beat that team. And that would be us and them. That would be it. Everybody else, you're like, they might be able to win. Because remember, Houston is looking like they're going to make the playoffs. What if Denver makes the playoffs? You see what I'm trying to say? All these teams, you're like, man, Cleveland could beat them. And then we would have to have a third matchup for the season, like we did last year with the Cincinnati Bengals. Some Raven fans don't want to face the Browns again. I really don't care who we face. I want to make sure that we demolish them, get them out of the way, and go on to the AFC Championship game. But look, I'm not spreading fear. I'm not like fear mongering or anything like that. What I'm saying is this should be a team that now we don't take for granted. I don't want to hear, we're up by 2 or 3 touchdowns. Rest Lamar for the rest of the playoffs. No, that is not what we're going to do. No. The Browns defense is generating offense. Myles Garrett had another, 2 sacks yesterday? Yeah, he's going to lead the league in sacks, bro. He's going to lead this. He's going to end up this year with 17 or 18 sacks. And if he's not getting sacks, he's giving consistent pressure. His win rate is astronomical. Hear ye, hear ye. What number does it say so? Oh, my word. We have not seen a number so big. That's how it is with him. So I'm worried more about us taking teams for granted because I know how we think. It's the Browns. Bruh, last time we let our foot off the gas. Don't worry, we're going to boat race them this time. No. I need you to look at them like they're the Kansas City Chiefs because you got to understand that when the playoffs start, all stops are taken. No, everybody's playing with every last ounce of energy that they have. Every last amount of dedication is put into those moments. It raises the level of competition. That's what the playoffs does. The cream rises to the top. And when it comes to it, everybody's playing with more purpose, more focus. Now, imagine everything that I said, but in the form of Myles Garrett. More focus, more energy. Myles Garrett could have a playoff game this offseason if they continue this track and make the playoffs, that he legit has 3 or 4 sacks in it. And you could throw in a forced fumble on that too. Because if he's having that much sacks, I would put money on he gets a forced fumble on top of it, which would be recovered. Maybe for a touchdown. So am I saying I'm scared of them? No. I'm saying do not take that team for granted. We can't afford it. No team should be taken for granted. The Houston Texans shouldn't be taken for granted. Now, remember, after we beat them, they were like, yo, y'all beat the Houston Texans, bro. Y'all sitting there celebrating over that. Now, remember, they beat a surging Cincinnati Bengals with a healthy Joe Burrow. Remember, they had Joe Burrow. Oh, Joe Burrow's back, baby. He's back, baby. The Cincinnati Bengals top 5 team in the league, baby. They beat them head to head. They can't be taken for granted. Tank Dell, I told y'all about Tank Dell. All these teams are going to be better. It's up to the Ravens, John Harbaugh, Lamar, that defense, these coaches to put their heads together to make sure that there's no letdowns. Because that's the difference with the playoffs. You can't afford no letdowns. You can't. You cannot. But what do you guys think? Do you think Nitro's tripping, or do you think that this team should be a team, just like all teams going to the playoffs, that we should be wary of? That we should be like, look, we can't take that team for granted. Let me know what you think down in the comments section. I'm telling y'all, I know what Ravens fans are going to say. Bro, we only lost last time because we took the foot off the gas. We won't be ready for the next time. No. You should be looking at them like, look, they already beat us once. They're not beating us again. Put them in the ground. Forget 6 feet. Add an extra 2 feet onto it to make sure that there's no way they can rise again. You understand where I'm coming from? But like I said, this is the episode of The Wunderkind Show. Thank you for watching. Y'all know how we get down. We have fun and we laugh. But everything we talk about is rooted in what? Facts and truth. Please do remember, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a comment. You know, love the comments. And if you have not done so already, check out The Wunderkind Show's Patreon. Yes, that thing helps out so much. Pretty much a subscription, and it gives and helps out this channel to go further, better content and everything else. So if you want it, there's 3 tiers. Give it a look, give it a try. Let me know what you think. And if you don't want to do it that way, there's another way for donations right there at the bottom of the screen. QR codes to a Cash App. Cash App's located in the description of every video that we do. And the name of it is The Wunderkind Show. It's from those donations from the Cash App. We've already got external hard drives. We got the iPad in which we do the lives off of. And we got the fan to keep me cool when I'm doing them because I sweat a lot. But like I said, so it's being used for the channel. So if you want to help, that's another way of doing it. All right? And always there's super chat. But like I said before, that's another episode of The Wunderkind Show. This is your host, Nitro, signing off. And as always, you know my slogan. Peace. And I am out of here. Yerp.